Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Justice for All. It's been a while because I really dislike this case, but let's go. Let's continue. It's trial time. December 29th, 9:43 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 5. Good morning, Max. Max? Milk. What? If I don't have a glass of milk before I go on stage, I just can't function, sweetie.
Stage? Don't worry, there won't be a stage.
I guess.
Nick, Max is really nervous.
That's understandable. Hey, my sweeties. What? You don't think I should fly, do you?
Huh?
You know, you've got to make a good first impression. When I enter the room, maybe I should fly in and warm up the crowd a little. No. We can't be having you flying around the courtroom. It just wouldn't be right. Imagine if you hit someone. Why do we always get the fucking insane people?
Don't worry, Max. Just do what Nick says and everything will be okay.
Oh, sweetie. Was it this time, Max? Why don't you try flying into the courtroom? I can see it now. The dashing young lawyer flying fabulously in from above. One glimpse of that and everyone in the room will be on your side.
Max, really? No one needs to fly today. Nick, what's with that look in your eyes?
I like the sound of that. Dashing young lawyer flying fabulously. December 29th, 10 a.m., District Court, Courtroom Number 2.
And now the case of one. What?
Your Honor, get on with it.
Oh, sorry. I just realized that the defendant's name is Billy Bob Johns.
So?
Well, isn't the defendant also known as Maximilian Galactica?
Yes, Your Honor. He does often go by that name.
You know, my grandchild is a huge fan of his. I think everyone here wouldn't mind if we called the defendant Maximilian Galactica. It sounds more friendly.
I wonder if that is to our advantage.
Miss Von Karma, your opening statement, if you please.
I hope you didn't bother thinking you'd win this one, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
Eh?
That spirit channeling trial was a sham. I refuse to acknowledge its legitimacy. You mean the case where you were actively trying to lose by claiming Maya committed the murder in self-defense? Okay. Fucking weirdo. It did not count. Do you hear me? She must still be upset about what happened last time. You have no chance. Zero. Sit. Zilch. Nada. I'm not losing this case. Why, you ask? Because it is not in the nature of a Von Karma to lose at anything.
I guess being born with the name Von Karma is a free pass to be arrogant and annoying.
Watch and learn, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I'll show you the textbook procedure of proving how absolutely guilty you are. Me? Guilty? What are you talking about? It will be my ultimate revenge.
Her dad is gone, you know.
The prosecution is finished. Let's hurry up and wrap this waste of time.
You may call your first witness, Miss Von Karma.
Detective Dick Gumshoe, get up there, now! Sorry to keep you from work, as I'm sure you need every penny you can earn, Detective. Don't mention it. It's no trouble at all. I've been looking forward to this. Very well. I would like you to begin by shedding light on the events in question. At your service, sir.
All right, Detective. You may proceed with your testimony.
Details of the event. The night of the crime, snow was falling until 9:40 p.m., making it extremely cold out. All of the circus performers gathered in the big top to practice their routines. The practice session broke up around 10 p.m. The murder itself took place in the plaza in front of the lodging house at 10:15 p.m. The victim was found bent over a wooden box, dead as a doornail. The cause of death was blunt force trauma that snapped a vertebrae in his neck.
I see. He was beaten to death.
Here's the autopsy report for the victim.
The court accepts this into evidence.
Autopsy report added to the court record.
A blunt object. Very well, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. Details of the events. The night of the crime, snow was falling until 9:40 p.m., making it extremely cold out. Let me ask you about the snow. It was nearly a blizzard up until the time of the crime. Did it pile up? It wasn't such a big deal. Maybe about 1.5 inches was on the ground. The snow froze in place and stayed on the ground until the next day. The snow. Let me see. There's gotta be more to this.
What's the matter, Nick?
I need to take a look at the court record.
Mr. Gumshoe, what were the members of the court doing at the night of the crime?
All of the circus performers gathered in the big top to practice their routines. When you say all of the circus performers, who do you mean? Everyone but the dancers and staff were there. Regina the animal tamer, Mo the clown, Ben the ventriloquist, and of course the defendant, Maximilian Galactica, and his victim, the ringmaster. Oh, I almost forgot. Regent the tiger was there as well. Out of curiosity, what about the circus monkey? When I was investigating yesterday, he happened to snatch my wristwatch.
Detective, you're welcome to file a police report after these proceedings.
The practice session broke up around 10 p.m. After the practice was over, where did everyone head off to? Regina was playing with Regent, while Mo went back to his room tired from work. Ben the ventriloquist went to the front gate absorbed in his own world. The ringmaster and Max went off to the ringmaster's room to talk privately.
Talk privately, huh? That's awfully suspicious. You wouldn't happen to know what they were talking about, would you?
It seems they were negotiating Max's salary. Actually, Max was asking for Regina's hand in marriage. The murder itself took place in the plaza in front of the lodging house at 10:15 p.m. I'd like you to be a bit more specific about the events at 10:15 p.m. Okay. Not a problem, pal. We've got a witness that told us how the whole thing... Wow, god fucking damn it. This is totally meaningless. Time to move on.
Alright. We'll just have to revisit that testimony later. Detective Gumshoe, would you mind telling us how the victim met his end?
The victim was found bent over a wooden box dead as a doornail. Did we get the autopsy? Yes, we did. Russell's autopsy report. Type report submitted as evidence by Detective Gumshoe. Time of death, 10:15 p.m. Cause, blunt force trauma to the back of the head. A wooden box? That's right. The victim must have been carrying the wooden box when he was killed.
Carrying the box, huh?
It was a rather strange wooden box, Your Honor.
What do you mean?
Well, it was much heavier than it looked, not to mention it was locked.
Locked, you say?
Wooden box added to the court record. This may be my own chance, so I might as well ask some questions. Wooden box, type evidence, submitted as evidence by Detective Gumshoe. The victim was hunched over this 20-pound box. It was locked by a small key. Do you mind telling us what was inside that box? Well, when we found the box, it was locked tighter than the Fort Knox. So we took it back to the station and cracked it open. All that was inside was this little bottle.
Bottle? What is that, Detective?
Exactly what it looks like, Your Honor. It's a condiment bottle.
What's inside the bottle?
It's filled with pepper.
Pepper? Why in the world was it locked in that big box? There's only one little bottle in that huge box? I wonder if it has some sort of special meaning. Small seasoning bottle added to the court record.
Cause of death was blunt force trauma that snapped a vertebrae in his neck. Small seasoning bottle. Type evidence. Submitted as evidence by Detective Gumshoe. Found inside the wooden box, the victim was hunched over. It contains pepper. According to the autopsy report, the murder weapon was a blunt object, correct? You've done your homework, pal.
And you haven't found this murder weapon, have you? The police are searching for it as we speak.
My theory is that it is something the perpetrator ran off with.
You would think so, especially since you didn't find it on the scene.
No. I already made it disappear with magic.
Well, I think we have a good feel for the details of the event now. I guess that's all we're going to get out of Gumshoe in this case. You mean all we're gonna get out of him is that little bottle of pepper? Now that we have wrapped up this detective, I'd like to call my next witness.
I'm not even off the stand yet.
Obviously, but that's due to you being slow and unable to take a hint.
I don't know, but wrapped up has such a mean sound to it. I'm a sensitive guy.
Thank you very much, Detective Gumshoe. You may step down. Miss Von Karma, call your next witness. I would like to call Mr. Benjamin Woodman to the stand.
She must be talking about Ben the ventriloquist.
I wonder if Trila will show up on the stand as well.
It's gonna be led by his...
Please state your name and occupation for the record. My full name is Trila Quist. I'm employed as an opera tenor.
I forgot his voice, so, sorry.
Excuse me. The witness called to the stand was one Mr. Benjamin Woodman, ventriloquist.
That roll must be cutting off your circulation. I said that I was a singer.
Maybe you don't believe me. Fine, I'll grace you with a song.
Me. The world of the law, exciting and daring, guilt or innocence.
Decided by a judge dressed up like a woman. Well, what do you think? What the fuck was that? Not a good rhythm.
It's just the lyrics. They leave something to be desired, so to speak. Trilo, you know better than to insult a judge.
Shut up. You just look at your nose. You would think you'd have some sense to fix it. It's so ugly, I want to punch you in the face on the off chance someone would help. You know that your nose is the reason you'll never be an A-list star. Celebrities must really enjoy saying everything that flashes into their minds. What's going on here? Order! I demand to know who this witness is.
Don't worry about me, sir. I'll let Trilo handle this.
I'm not worried about you one bit. I'm worried about getting testimony in my court. Ouch! God fucking damn it again.
You won't get anywhere trying to figure out this witness. Now, let's proceed.
Witness testimony. What you witnessed. Once practice was over, I left the tent with the clown. Once we got to the lodge house, I ditched him and went over to the plaza. That's when I saw Max heading towards the scene of the crime. It was the only one headed that way. How could that punk not be the killer? Then the police showed up and took Magic Boy away.
You saw Maximilian Galactica heading towards the scene?
You're sure of that?
Without a doubt, he had on his silk hair and the dumb white roses on his chest. How can you mistake someone with that crazy getup and his nose stuck up so high?
That's enough. I think we all get the picture. Just one thing. You said you ditched the clown.
That's right, dress boy.
Well, since you weren't with him, couldn't that mean the clown committed the crime? She's got a point.
What a sham. No, what a shame. It was a nice theory, but the clown can't be the criminal.
Why is that?
Here's absolute proof.
So, Cat?
This was found at the scene of the crime. It belongs to the defendant. Without question, he was wearing his signature hat during practice. If the clown was the murderer, there would be no reason for this hat to be at the scene.
Well done, Miss Von Karma. Your prosecutorial skills are unrivaled. Well done.
Thank you all for stating the obvious. Mr. Phoenix Wright, what do you have to say? Okay. I guess she's the boss again today. Fucking hell. What you witnessed. Once practice was over, I left the tent with this dude. Clown. The clown? You're talking about Mo?
Of course I'm talking about that old fuck. He's so pathetic, I can't stand him. Just a little bit of exercise and his makeup is running all over the place. Once practice was over, he was 9/10 of the way to keeling over for good.
Poor guy.
We didn't have any choice, so Ben took him back to his room. When it comes to being a first place loser, that guy's ahead of the pack. Then what happened?
Once we got to the lodging house, I ditched him and went over to the plaza. What did you do then?
I went over to the plaza to do some thinking.
It was awfully cold out that night, especially with all the snow around. Wouldn't thinking in your nice warm lodging house have been a better idea? Mr. Phoenix Wright, I think you should leave the thinking to the witness. But I'm a good thunker. At least my teachers always said I was.
That's when I saw Max headed towards the scene of the crime.
Are you sure it was really Max Galactica?
Of course I'm sure. How could you mistake someone wearing such a snobby three-piece getup?
Snobby three-piece getup?
Get the wax out of your ears. Noise nowadays. You're like talking to a brick wall. Max's three-piece getup. Jeez, could you be any more dense? All together now. Silk hair, cloak, white roses. Thank you.
Nick, I think you should put a little bit more effort into preparing your questions.
He was the only one headed that way. How could that punk not be the killer?
You saw Max and only Max, right, Trilo?
That's right. And that makes him the killer. There was only one person headed that way that night. That makes quite a bit of sense and makes Max one suspicious character.
There's more to this story than meets the eye. Is there something amiss in this? That's a bit strange, don't you think?
What's strange?
That you only saw Max? Doesn't it seem like you should have seen someone else as well?
What? Where are you going with this, Mr. Wright? Well, who else do you suppose this witness could have seen? That's the victim.
That's correct. If Trilo was at the entrance to the plaza, he should have seen the ringmaster as well. Obviously the ringmaster arrived at the scene of the crime before the witness. Could have seen him. Anyone with sense could have figured that one out. What are you talking about? The ringmaster and Max went together to the ringmaster's room. Is that, according to the defendant, a likely story? If Maximilian Galactica was supposed to be in the ringmaster's room, why was he, just as the witness stated, at the scene of the crime?
I see. Seems that at this stage I have no reason to doubt this witness's testimony. And there are clearly no conclusive contradictions.
He's right. A brilliant judgment, Your Honor. Now let's move along with his testimony.
Trilo wouldn't happen to have an ulterior motive for incriminating Max, would he?
Well, Max is part of that bitter love triangle with Regina, which is probably why Max conked him over the head.
Nick? Wasn't Ben the one who got knocked over the head?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know anymore. Once practice was over, I left the tent with that stooge and clown. Then the police showed up and took Magic Boy away. Around what time did the police arrive at the scene? I suppose that would have been around... Hey, what time was it? Huh? I think it was around, I'd say a bit after 10:30 p.m., I think. Practice ended at 10 p.m., so you hung around the lodging house the entire time. I guess that sounds about right. Wasn't it awfully cold? I can't believe you just stand outside in that weather. Well, the truth is...
Will you shut up, you big-nosed dope? Why are you telling him anything extra? Why can't you believe that we just stand outside in that weather?
Well, maybe you were waiting for someone.
Whoa, what? Who said we were waiting for someone?
Mr. Phoenix Wright, we can all do this out your half-handed serious. But this witness was cracking under... he's cracking under the pressure already. I'm onto something.
Mr. Wright? Who do you suppose the witness was waiting for out in the cold that night?
Regina. Well, if he was waiting outside in the cold, it was for one person. And one person only. He was waiting for the animal tamer, Regina.
Wah!
You were waiting outside for Regina to come back to the lodging house. Am I mistaken?
Is this true?
Well, you can't really ask me that question.
Who cares who I was waiting for that night? What's important is what I saw. Don't you forget it. Well, the puppet may be a bit stiff, but he's right.
Eh? Alright. There is obviously a reason why this witness was there that night. He spent all that time waiting for Regina to arrive. Moreover, even if someone else would have walked right in front of him, I doubt he would have paid them a second thought.
That makes perfect sense. What did you just say?
The witness saw the defendant at the scene of the crime. However, he did not see the victim on the way to his eventual demise. If you accept that, then you must accept that there is a high likelihood that he could have missed someone. Ow! There is absolutely no proof that the witness was waiting for the animal tamer.
I guess you got me. Alright. I'll spill the beans for real this time. It's true. I was waiting for Regina.
Pain!
Don't volunteer things. Mr. Quist, tell us the truth this time, and I mean the whole truth. Were you or were you not waiting for Regina at the entrance to the lodging house? I was. I was waiting to propose to her. You were what? Waiting to propose? What's the matter? You think that humans have a monopoly on marriage? The matter of puppet marriage is not under review in this case. You're the judge. I mean, look at your horrible outbeat.
More pain! Thanks to your bumbling, my perfect plan is not so perfect anymore. Now we have to waste time getting to the bottom of some silly proposal by a puppet. About the proposal.
Don't be so surprised that I was so going to propose to Regina. I even had something to give to her. I kept it in my pocket, waiting for the chance to propose and give it to her. Of course, I also had it in my pocket that night. It was a present for her. In the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I've still got it in my pocket. You were going to propose? You? A puppet? Don't be so obtuse. Just because I'm a puppet doesn't mean I can't love.
I guess you're right. Because I'm ill doesn't mean I couldn't propose to her too. Your Honor. Yes, it does. She's 16. I mean, I don't know the age of consent in California, but I would be surprised if it's 16. I'm gonna search that up after this video. Exactly. His honor is looking a little less than honorable right now. Also, it might be 16 in Japan, depending on where this takes place in Japan. Okay, Mr. Wright, please continue with your cross-examination.
Did you hear that? His sigh seemed a little wistful.
About the proposal. Don't be so surprised that I was going to propose to Regina. By proposal, you mean proposing marriage, correct? To Regina?
Of course, that's what I meant. What kind of stupid question is that? I wasn't going to propose that we become some sort of outlaw biker gang together. Right, Ben?
Yeah.
Got it? That's the truth. I even had something to give to her.
What was it exactly that you planned on giving her?
You know exactly what I was going to give her, you numbskull. The only thing I could find that could match Regina's beauty. Answer his question. What was it? You're gonna die when you hear this.
It's an engagement ring. An engagement ring? Wow. Those two nearly fell out of their chairs.
Mr. Phoenix Wright's joke has gone too far. Time for this to end right here.
Franziska's whip looks like it's about to lash out at almost anything. One hit from that thing will probably shut someone up for a long time. Push on anyways. It must be something of a joke. It may be something of a joke, but this is a historical moment. The first time that a puppet has ever proposed to you. Ow!
I advise you to cut this argument short.
I'm going to have to agree with the defense here. Will the witness please revise their testimony? Specifically about the engagement ring. I'd like to stick to facts, not sociology.
You sure do enjoy sweating the details, especially for a man in a black bathrobe.
I plan on giving an engagement ring to Regina. An engagement ring?
It's actually a diamond-shaped stone cut from glass. Even more brilliant than the real thing. I think Regina's going to love it.
It's just a ring.
What's the matter, Nick?
Well, there's gotta be something I can catch him on.
I kept it in my pocket, waiting for the chance to propose and give it to her.
Whose pocket was the ring in?
Mine, of course. What a stupid question. You've gotta be kidding me. You think Ben could pull that off?
I'm sorry. Really?
You don't have to apologize for that. He's the one who should be apologizing.
Really?
Of course, I also had it in my pocket that night. It was a present for her.
So you went to the lodging house to give it to her?
That's right. I tried to give it to her during practice so many times that I lost count, but that uppity snob kept getting in the way.
Uppity snob? You couldn't possibly be talking about me, Maximilian Galactica. Then when I get a hold of him, I'm gonna saw his wood block in half, and not with magic. Well, they always say that love creates rivalries.
So, what about this present? In the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I've still got it in my pocket.
So, you are still thinking of trying to give it to Regina?
Of course I am. I spent 3 months' salary on this thing. I'm not gonna give up that easily. I wonder how much he receives for appearing in the circus.
Probably way more than he deserves.
How about it, Nick?
I think it's about time to unwrap this toy's testimony.
That's the spirit, Nick. Give him hell.
Uh-oh. The judge has that dazed look again. Maybe he should get out more. Let me object to your face. Where is it? There it is. No. God damn it. I'm trying to pause it. God damn. Okay. Trilo, do you mind if I show you something? What is it?
What are you talking about?
Uh-oh. Looks like they're going to double team me now. Do you recognize this ring?
Ah, that's mine. Give it back. Thief!
Didn't you just testify about this very object? I believe you said. In the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I've still got it in my pocket. Why then do I have it right here? Ah! What is going on here?
That's... Ben, say something.
Don't put me on the spot like that, Trilo. I found this in Money's room.
Money's room? You mean a room they put money? Like a bank vault? Ha, that filthy monkey is gonna get what's coming to him. Mr. Quest, I would prefer if you avoided slandering innocent fiats in my court.
Well, Your Honor, Money really is a monkey, in every sense of the word.
Ah, I see. Well then.
Money likes to go after the shiniest things he can find and gather them up.
Shiny things?
Trilo, when was this ring stolen from you? Well, I suppose it was that time, that night. The night of the crime.
What did you just say?
Details. I need more details. Well, it was stolen right after Max showed up in the plaza. Right about when you said the defendant walked past. Right about when you saw the defendant walk past, correct? Well, I guess you might, be able to say that. The ring must have, well, it could have been taken around that time.
Oh!
Yeah. Oh.
Ben, what's with you? Oh, whatever. It has nothing to do with anything, especially not who committed the murder.
It's not for you to decide what has to do with what. Now, Trilo, back to the topic at hand.
I haven't admitted a thing. Not I, Mr. Trilo Quist.
And what did you do when the ring was taken, Trilo?
You know exactly what I did. I chased after that ring-snatching monkey Money.
But you weren't able to catch up with him, were you?
It's all this low-loafy fool called Ben's fault. While he was fumbling his way through the snow, that dumb monkey was able to get away. That is indeed an incredible shame.
Well, this does indeed prove one very important point.
Prove an important point? What point could that possibly be?
And testimony has a flaw. There is a huge contradiction in this witness's testimony. Contradiction? The witness just testified to the following effect. Up until the police arrived, he didn't move from the entrance to the plaza. However, the witness just stated that he chased after Money the monkey. When the witness was off chasing Money, there was no one watching the plaza.
What is the meaning of all this, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Where are you going with this little theory of yours?
I'm saying that there is no possible way that this witness saw the plaza the entire time. That's where I'm going with this little theory, which leads me to my next point. It is entirely possible that someone other than the defendant was at the scene.
Interesting. Well then tell me this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Do you have any proofs that something slipped past this vigilant ventriloquist?
Well, he obviously didn't see the victim, the ringmaster, arrive on the scene.
However, that doesn't change the fact that he saw the defendant arrive.
The witness is lying. He's blinded by his rivalry with Max. Well, the defense's argument does hold water. This witness does have a history of animosity towards the defendant.
What? How dare you?
I wouldn't lie just to get that dork face in trouble. He's not even worth it. I saw him, no doubt about it. I saw that worthless liar. Well, just for clarity's sake, let's flesh out exactly who you saw on that night. Ha! I told you so many times you'd think you know my story's not changing. You've already changed your story, stick boy. And I'm sure it will change some more. Where there's one lie, there are usually many more behind it. Lies beget more lies. Just quote your sister, Maya. Don't try to make up your own quote. Just quote your sister. Exactly, Maya. That's why we have to keep after him.
Yeah.
Witnessing Max. I'll give you that. I was waiting for that night for Regina. But that doesn't change the fact that I saw Max in the plaza that night. He showed up after I had been waiting there for about 5 minutes. I said good evening to him, but he didn't even acknowledge my presence. I'm absolutely sure it was him. I saw Maximilian Galactica at the scene. There's no way I could mistake someone wearing those 3 ridiculous symbols. So that means that money didn't show up until after you saw Max? That's right. Money ran up less than a minute after I saw Max. Then Money snatched the ring and you went chasing after him? How long was it until you came back to where you were waiting? Well, let's see. I'd say about... I suppose 5 minutes, I think. So the victim could have arrived on the scene in that 5-minute stretch. Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination. Witnessing Max. I'll give you that I was waiting that night for Regina. So, you were only concerned with waiting for Regina that night. That means you probably wouldn't have noticed if someone else showed up. You should think about how many eyes I actually have. I've got 4, you know? 4. F-O-U-R. Counting Ben, of course. With that many eyes, do you really think something would have slipped by me? Yes, I do. 4 eyes is an awful lot of attention directed at one area, I suppose. Yikes, the judge is even more dangerous to our case than Trilo. But that doesn't change the fact that I saw Max in the plaza that night. So you saw Max coming out of the big top that night? Of course that's where I saw him coming from. I was staring at the entrance to the tent that entire time. Why did I press that? I guess that makes sense, especially since he was waiting for Regina. He showed up after I had been waiting there for about 5 minutes. About what time would you say these events took place? You're one of the dumbest people on the planet if you can't figure it out yourself. You already have that practice finished promptly at 10 p.m. No, not half. And you already know that I went to the lodging house right after practice. You don't have to be a brain surgeon to know around what time it was when I saw him. Just add 10 more minutes. I'm sure you can do that. Now what time was it? Indeed, what time was it? What time was it? Let me think about that. Yow! It was 10:10 p.m., you fucking dumbasses. Ah, yes, that sounds about right. Sounds about right because that's the time I saw Max on the scene. I said good evening to him, but he didn't even acknowledge my presence. So you testified that you said good evening to Max that night. You must enjoy asking incredibly obvious questions. You say good morning in the morning, you say good afternoon during the day, right? And it's obvious that I'd say good night to someone at night. What, Ben? You got something to add? Let me guess. That's not it, Trilo. You said good evening at night. I'm sorry, Trilo. Mr. Quist, I would prefer if you kept your ventriloquist act outside of the courtroom. Impossible. A performer lives and breathes his performances. You should know better. There's gotta be something wrong with this bit of testimony. Ben's having the comedy act. Isn't that a bit strange to you? What do you mean? Well, if you hate Max so much, why would you bother being so nice to him? It strikes me as somewhat strange. Why would it strike you as strange? Exactly. How is it strange to be cordial to one of your coworkers? Well, if I was simply just being cordial to a coworker, I would understand. Ow, that hurts. Maybe you should think of having some proof before your lips start flapping next time. Proof is everything in this world. You should have learned that back in grade school. There's no reason that Trila would ever say something that nice to Max. How do I go about proving that with evidence?
Bluffing is everything in this world, but I'm sure you already learned that one.
I guess I can give it a shot.
The witness will resume his testimony.
I'm absolutely sure it was him. I saw Max Galactic at the scene. You are 100% absolutely sure of what you just said. I told you already. Jeez, I am 100% absolutely sure. There's no way that he could be any more confident than that, right? There's no way I can mistake someone wearing those three ridiculous symbols. Those three ridiculous symbols? Huh? Out of curiosity, exactly how many times have you asked that question by now? If you're gonna ask again, I'll answer with a chorus. Everyone together now. Cellcat, Cloak, White Roses. Thank you very much. My silly now. Maya, you didn't have to join in, did you?
But it's fun shouting out with everyone else. There has to be a hole in his testimony somewhere.
I agree. But do we have the proof to make something stick?
All we can do is try, right, Nick? We've got to have something that'll prove useful.
Alright, time to go to work. Phoenix, you're at work. I guess, broken bottle. Yep. Trilo, is it not true that you had a fight with Max on the day of the murder? A fight? A fight over Regina, to be exact. It wasn't that big of a deal. It was just an argument. A disagreement at most. A disagreement usually doesn't end with someone getting clonked over the head.
Hey!
That morning, Ben got clobbered over the head by Max, didn't he?
What?
Is that an admission of assault and battery? Ouch! Before we handle that, we should wrap up the defendant's murder charge first. The truth is that on the day of the crime, the defendant and witness had a huge fight. There is absolutely no way they would have suddenly become cordial that evening. Moreover, just consider the personality of the witness on stand. There's no way a puppet this lewd would just up and say good evening to his rival. Ah! Are you saying this witness is lying? Is that he is trying to frame the defendant by claiming to have seen him at the crime scene? I didn't tell a single lie. Honestly, I just... That's enough from you, Mr. Quest. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? Let's clarify this testimony for the court. Could you explain your theory about who the witness actually saw that night? He saw a different person. It is my belief that the witness did indeed see someone that night. It was just someone else. That's who he said good evening to. What kind of theory is that? The correct one. Furthermore, I don't believe the person the witness saw was Max at all. What? If he had truly met Max that night, there would have been no greeting at all. Which means there is only one proper answer. The person the witness saw that night was not Maximilian Galactica. That is why Trilo made the effort to greet whoever it was that he saw that evening. Or, good evening, as he put it. What in the world? You... Will the defense kindly explain who it was Trilo saw that evening, then?
Clean up?
No.
What boots do you wear?
Both. Sorry about that. That again. Considering the ill temper of this witness, there is only one person he would greet. It must be Regina. It's Regina, right? She's so cute. No, Your Honor. It is not Regina. If it was Regina, Trila would have given her the engagement ring as a present. Oh, yeah. I suppose you've got a point there. It was Russell Barry, the victim himself, was it not? You are correct. It was indeed Russell Barry. The person you saw that evening was the victim, the ringmaster Russell Barry. That's why you greeted him, Trilo. Isn't that correct? Hmm? Answer the question, Mr. Quist. Order! Order! How do you respond to this? Wait a second. Well, at first I thought it was the old man. But once I got a better look at him, it was obviously Maximilian Galactica. I think it is high time that we clear the air about this question. Mr. Quist obviously witnessed the single person in the area of the plaza that evening. The problem is identifying exactly who that person was. Was it Maximilian Galactica? Or was it the ringmaster? One Mr. Russell Barry. The prosecution argues that it was the defendant that the witness saw that night. The witness has clearly stated that he saw the defendant's 3 symbols. 3 symbols. Alright, this is getting old. Come on, man. You've got to remember them by now. Here we go again. Everyone all together now. Ow! Yes, we know. Is a silk hat, cloak, and white roses. A silk hat and a cloak. Anyone could wear them. They'd even look good on me. What was that? Well, the witness has endlessly repeated that he saw Max's 3 symbols. However, how do we really know it was Maximilian Galactica? He could have been someone else, dressed up as him. Possibly even Russell Barry. What? Miss Von Karma? Do you have clear-cut evidence that the person the witness saw was the defendant? Well, If that's the case, then it is impossible for me to make a judgment at this point. Yes! I think we finally won a point in this one. That is very unfortunate. Huh? You're just a little too excited for your own good, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What do you mean by that? You merely established one thing from this witness. You established that this witness saw one person in the plaza that night. I applaud you on your efforts, but who that person was can only be answered by the next witness. Huh? Your Honor, the prosecution will provide, beyond a shadow of a doubt, an answer to that question, and evidence that that clearly establishes one thing: that there is no one other than Maximilian Galactica responsible for this crime. Very well. The court will take a 10-minute recess. During that time, I request the prosecution prepare their next witness. Court is now in recess. To be continued. Ow. Okay. This game. The first day, the first trial. Honestly, the first trial isn't all that bad in this. I like Trilo. I like dealing with him. I don't like the fact that Ben's a fucking pedo, but, you know. I love Mo. Mo's genuinely my favorite character in this case. Anyways, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!